Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Love Hurts 1v1 AirMech tournament presented by the Exiled Court, organized by Cynical Llama, and brought to you by OPTVLive. I am Steve, and I am bringing you Game 2 of Bracket H of this Best of 3 series featuring the Big Boss versus Overkill. Right now, Overkill has a 1-game lead. Game point right now for Overkill. Can he just take this in a quick 2-game sweep and walk away, moving on right to the semifinals, eliminating someone that could have potentially been seen as going very far in this tournament? Or will Big Boss learn something from that last game, adjust his tactics, and come back even stronger in this game, just like what we saw Polar Bears do in his bracket? Big Boss, just like Polar Bears, decides on Twin Peaks for his map choice. Now, we saw this work out to Polar Bears' advantage in his game, but what will happen here? Both these players pushing in Big Boss, using just the heal capacity of his Osprey, little extra damage that he can do, level 2 already there, but Overkill in a Warthog is just chewing through these neutrals so fast. With double ratchet support, his tanks are looking fine and healthy. No need to have a mech that heals as well. But once we start meeting in the middle, when these two titans collide in this middle area, what will be more significant? The amazing amount of damage that a Warthog can do, or the amazing amount of heal that an Osprey can do? Which is superior, damage or heal? Folks, there's one way to find out. That is to watch right now, because we're about to find out, because these two titans are in fact about to collide right here in the middle. Every single unit being devoted to both these ends. Big Boss has the artillery. He is bringing Archies with him, so he can deploy them out right from the beginning of the game. They have that super long range, and without Overkill having any type of jamming type of devices up, and only having Berthas, so he needs level 6 before he can actually get his own artillery online. In a map like Twin Peaks, this could cost Overkill a lot if he doesn't properly use his units. But as you can see, it's a great approach that he's doing. He's moving his units over to the side, trying to get them out of artillery range, and trying to get them into firing range. He's letting his tanks sit in the front to act as damage sponges, and let the longer range of the Buckies outshoot Big Boss. And he is actually collapsing Big Boss's line. Two-pronged attack from the bottom with that missile firing battery, and then from the top with the actual tank attack. Big Boss finds himself having to actually pull back, while Overkill in a Warthog is microing these units the way that you would typically see someone in an Osprey or a Helix micro these units. Amazing gameplay right now from Overkill. And Big Boss finds himself completely backed up. He's even bringing Aegis out to try to counter these Buckies, because the Bucky fire is just turning out to be too much for him, that he's got 2 Aegis out and online just to handle this. And we have not seen Aegis in a long time in these matches. But they are working, they are doing what they need to do to a degree, but they're still not doing enough. Overkill close to death, he will still survive. And Big Boss is just crumbling right now. 14 upkeep left for Big Boss, 32 for Overkill. Big Boss with only 2 Seekers, 1 Ratchet, 3 Archies, and 1 Aegis online for him completely, whereas Overkill with 5 Patchers, 5 Geminis, and 6 Buckies, and the firepower of a Warthog cannon has completely not only neutralized but turned the entire bottom lane blue. Boss only has a few units left. He's hiding them behind the outpost just to try to keep that outpost neutralized a little bit longer, but Overkill with unbelievable microing, moving those units up little by little by little, and it's just too much. Big Boss just cannot catch a break. Folks, if you've ever wondered if you can micro units in a Warthog, Overkill is right now showing you, yes, you can. He's upgraded his cannon a little bit, but not a whole lot. Just enough of what he needs to do a little bit of extra damage, but he is letting his units do most of the work. And he is just completely outproducing Boss. 41 upkeep to 30. Both of these players are soon about to get upkeep locked. The only real danger for Overkill is these artillery. He's got... There's the dinger. He has gotten his dinger online, sitting way back in the background, but now neutralizing a lot of the effectiveness of the artillery. Can he get it the rest of the way? Those Ratchets not able to heal fast enough. They're trying to heal. Some of the tanks will go down, but those Bucky missiles firing in the Aegis cannot keep up. This is pure crazy pandemonium. Meanwhile, Overkill pushing in onto Big Boss's closest outpost. Big Boss just finds himself doing nothing but playing a reactive defensive game. He can't set the pace, he can't control the action, and guys, you know, if you've played a lot of AirMech action, and a lot of AirMech games, the last thing you want to be is the one that is being the reactive person. You're not gaining territory, you're not gaining footholds, you're not gaining anything that you need. You're just merely reacting while your opponent literally completely sets the pace of everything. And that's what we have going here. Very little in the way of actual defensive units. Overkill now feels the time is right. Land and shoot down with that massive, powerful Warthog cannon and just wipe out everything Boss has on the side here. Boss is getting completely pushed back against the wall, but we have seen this already. LOL's his first game, he was completely pushed back against the wall twice and still somehow managed to get back into this game. Can Big Boss pull a similar rabbit out of his hat? Or will Overkill take this in a 2-game sweep, securing himself a top 4 spot in the semifinals and knocking Big Boss out of the competition? More action. It's just non-stop with these two players. It is worth noting though, 5 minutes and 40 seconds into the game, nobody has died yet at all. Always well worth mentioning when that happens. Overkill at this point looks like he maybe was going to concede a little bit, but no, he's actually going to bring up his units and deploy them out instead. While he deploys his main units up, he got Big Boss to invest all of his units, all his monies, all his credits into this outpost defense. And in the process, has left his base completely open and vulnerable to attack. He's now trying to respond the best he can, dropping bombs, building artillery, but with a Goliath leading the charge. Is there anything that Big Boss can do to stop this much damage coming in at once? He's trying the best he can, bomb after bomb after bomb, but Overkill now spreading out the units, making the bombs less effective. And folks, it will be Overkill guaranteeing himself a top 4 spot in the finals, with at least 4,000 diamonds, I believe, in prizes. Unbelievably convincing games coming out from Overkill. No deaths from either players. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a pretty awesome, amazing game that we just witnessed right there. Big Boss versus Overkill. Overkill taking it in a 2-game sweep. But the best is yet to come, folks. We have the semifinals coming up. Best of 3. The top 4 players of this tournament will go head-to-head to figure out who gets to compete for the grand prize and who is in that 3rd place slot. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the AirMech 1v1 Love Hurts tournament presented by the Exiled Court, organized by Cynical Llama, and brought to you by OPTVLive.